Alright, hello everyone, welcome to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be giving my thoughts on the Dissidia Duellum project that was announced yesterday. It was announced I think around like 4 a.m. or 6 a.m. my time, Eastern Standard. I had watched it then, but then decided to sleep on it, and then even after sleeping on it, I kind of like went to work and just kind of like waited a full day before like getting my thoughts down on paper. The reason why I'm even saying this is because I want to preface this video. I know I had come out with my previous video, which was I didn't want to sound negative in that video. I didn't want to cause any drama or anything like that. So I apologize if anyone took it that way or even got that vibe off of that video. I just wanted to state that I was kind of like disappointed with Square Enix not listening to the Dissidia community at all, really. And I know there are some of the Dissidia community who like the spin-off games from Dissidia, but some of us have been waiting about 12 to like 13 years since, and the 12-13 years is since the original PS4 came out, because when that came out, Square Enix was doing their push for HD games, let's remaster, remake stuff. So we were thinking, hey, yeah, we can get a remaster or remake of Duodecim on modern platforms and PC, and it would be great. But like I said, 12 to 13 years and we haven't gotten anything. My suggestion for them was, hey, they need to take a look at Capcom and what they're doing with the Mega Man Legacy collection, because Capcom started with Mega Man Legacy. People loved it, so they gave us Mega Man 0 and ZX collection. People loved it, and then they moved on to Battle Network. People loved it again, and now we're on to the Star Force collection that's coming out next year. And I'm going to be looking forward to that as well. Now, I do want to finish off the preface by saying that I have no issue with mobile games, since I play a couple that are on my channel, such as Withering Waves, Punishing Grey Raven. I even mentioned it a couple times, Girls Frontline 2, and Goddess of Victory Nike. And I'm going to be playing other ones like Chaos Zero Nightmare and Arknights Enfield when those games come out. But I wanted to put that preface there just so people can get a good idea of where I'm coming from as I continue with this video. But to get started with it, I think I'm kind of going to get through like just my thoughts on the announcement trailer by itself before going into any detail. So I'm gonna post this video below so you guys can watch it in full if you haven't already. But one part that I did like is this kind of like feather. If anyone is a Final Fantasy VII fan, you know that that's literally screams Sephiroth. So that's gonna be interesting to see. The next one was seeing this guy, Warrior of Light, in a casual outfit, which I have no issue with. This looks really nice. The one outfit I do have an issue with is Kane here. I don't know who did this to my boy. Why you do this? But we have Cloud over here from Final Fantasy VII, and then we have Gaia from Final Fantasy 14, which is actually interesting because she's a side character, but in this game, so I'm kind of interesting to see them do that. But other than that, after that, it's just like name drop. And then we kind of get into the parts of the trailer that I have issue with. It's a 3v3 boss battle arena style game. And in my mind, this game seems to be a speedrun boss / monster rush, similar to Capcom's Exoprimal, just without the PvP component of Exoprimal. And the reason why I'm saying that is if we go to the next screen here, you could see that they, just like how Exoprimal started off, each team starts off on their particular sides. They do objectives, they move to the next objective. The faster you get the objectives, the faster you get to the boss, the faster you beat the boss, the faster you win. And another part of this trailer, which I need to show, so I'm gonna just elongate this a little bit, is these kind of gacha or skill icons. As you can see, they have like the gacha rarities on it, like rare, super rare, ultra rare. And personally, in my opinion, I think that there's going to be two forms of gacha for this game. There's going to be the character gacha, And there's gonna be the gacha dupes or duplicates for anyone who knows that, to max out your skills. So you may just start with the rare one and then you have to get extra copies to get to these skills. I may be wrong on that, but as a gacha player, a mobile game player, I don't think there's any other reason why you would have like the gacha rarities on the skills if they didn't just come innate to the character. So that's just a thought that I had on that. They utilized the bravery system like the original Dissidia game, so not too much issue there. Now, when we got to this point in the trailer, funny enough, I immediately thought of the Kingdom Hearts game Missing Link that kind of like disappeared. I think its engine got repurposed into this game because I remember something about boss battles and stuff in that game, so it seems like they kind of just like shifted it over here and just like moved Missing Link into the abyss. Now, I did excuse me there. I did mention at the start that I like some of the outfits. Some of these designs look good, while a couple not so much. Like you have Lightnings here, you have Gaia, and Zidane is a no-go for me, so I'm gonna let it play a little bit just so Zidane can be shown. And I will never unsee what I think Nico B posted on Twitter, and I'm gonna show you guys here. He posted this, that Zidane looks like Android 18, and I literally cannot unsee it because he literally has the beads on his neck just like she does. It's the same kind of like, it's just a slightly longer like I don't even know what to call it, top jacket or whatever. And then if it's not Android 18, you have Kara from My Adventures of Superman, and he looks just like these two characters, and I'll never unsee that. But that's something that I thought of. And then I also had an issue with Tara over here. I'm kind of surprised they changed her from her natural hair color to this kind of platinum blonde, and I don't know why they did that. When other people have like their hair, they have silver hair and stuff, so I'm just like, why change just her hair? Otherwise, these ability illustrations look amazing. I have no issues with these. They look great. Funny enough, I have this card in the Final Fantasy TCG, so those are really cool. I noticed they give you some customization options, but not for Kain. I can't. They did my boy dirty, and they have like boss summons and stuff. But other than that, that's kind of where I end off on that. And if you want any more information other than this announcement trailer, Nova Chrysalis, I will link out to them as well. They had an article up on their website about it, so I'll link out to this as well. But to kind of move on from that, now that I'm done talking about my thoughts on the trailer itself, now I'm just like talking about the game and Square Enix as a whole. When I made my previous video, there was a post that I had mentioned there from a Twitter user called Makai Saying, if I'm saying it right. I'll put up his post on screen, or their post on screen right now, about the game maybe being a port of the original game, the mobile. And I think if that was the case, it would have been at least slightly more well received. But as we know, it's a 3v3 boss arena battler, so it's not. And I think I had the thought, I don't know if I said this before in this video, but that someone at Square Enix either hates or dislikes the Dissidia fan base of the original two games or the IP and wants to deviate it as much as possible, or just kind of spite the original fans of the franchise, or the two games, the original two games. That's kind of like the vibe I've been getting after getting this game, after Square Enix literally just EOS or end of service their other mobile games, especially Opera Omnia. And I think that's where kind of we kind of go into this issue or this concern with this game is instead of getting like a full game that people can have till the end of time, we got this mobile game, but Square Enix doesn't necessarily have the best history. It has a pretty bad history and reputation in terms of mobile games, and they tend to either, whether they're good or bad, they shut them down within either a year, 3 years, and then if we're extremely lucky, 5 years, and then if you're lucky to the max with like all maxed out stats, you maybe can get 10 years. But that's based off of like the Japanese start date, because us global players tend to get those games for a lot less. I think the closest we've ever been is like Opera Omnia, which we had for like 6 years in comparison to like 7 years for Japan. And even that game was pretty well received. It was pretty relatively free to play friendly, but personally it wasn't for me. But that game was a pretty decent one, but they end of serviced it. I think the Japanese end of service is at the end of this month, if I'm correct. So this game kind of like has that concern, and I even mentioned that it looks like the engine was repurposed from the Missing Link game. But now I kind of want to talk about other people's reactions to it or like their thoughts on it, because I was watching Maximilian Dude, who I'll put up his photo on screen right now. He's a pretty cool guy. Love him. He's in the Final Fantasy. He's into fighting games mainly, but he also covers RPGs and stuff. And he's a great Final Fantasy fan as well. And even he had some issues with the mobile game, because even he mentioned once again the original 2 games on the PSP, Dissidia and Duellum. So even he had those thoughts of like, hey, yeah, they should just give us those. But also another creator who I love, she's amazing, is Tiffany Lockhart, who, funny enough, I found through Max. And even here's some of her thoughts on it, where she said, yeah, it's a mobile game, it's free, whatever. But she's not a fan of the 3v3 aspect again, just like I'm not. And she, though, is slightly more positive, because she's at least going to see the characters in the story, and that'll be enjoyable to her. But at the end, she ended off with, I would like the 1v1 PSP games again. And I think there was even other people in her comments saying that, yeah, game like Duodecim, please. And then even people mentioning that Opera Omnia was a better thing than this. And then people mentioning that what killed the NT was the 3v3 PvP. And there's probably more and more I could just go down the list. But another person I wanted to bring up is Maku. They're a great, I think, video game enjoyer on Twitter. They cover stuff that for Kingdom Hearts and a ton of other things. And they had these 2 posts here. I have this one opened up separately, but they even had this post back when I originally created my video. My first video was how Square Enix is holding Dissidia series hostage by announcing yet another mobile game after killing off all their other mobile games and then not revamping this into the fighter game that the original Dissidia games were. But I'm gonna go into this post by Maku, and as you can see, other people just like me, hey, yeah, every Dissidia server, people are conflicted, because for anyone who's a fan of the original Dissidia games, you know we've kind of waited like 12 to 13 years plus to actually get these games remastered. And these aren't the only ones that Square Enix has done. So it's kind of just like a confusing thing. And especially with like other people in the gaming space doing remasters and remakes, we just hope that Square Enix would listen. But yeah, even people making jokes about like when the game is gonna end of service and stuff. 2 years in Japan to 1 year in global, not surviving a year. So some people are even less, with like 2 months in a beta test. But I'm a little bit more optimistic. I think this game will find an audience, but like I mentioned earlier, Square Enix doesn't have the best history. this game's either going to get a year or 3 years, or if they're extremely lucky, maybe 5. But by that point, that's when you're like, the luck of your odds aren't on RNG of how long the game will go on is like 0.001% or something like that. And I think, oh yeah, I had the quotes for that post open and just kind of like start off like someone else had the idea like I did about like this may be the gotcha system here, but I also think that the gotcha system will be on the characters, because I need to go back to this video because they did kind of like tease like who are the next ghosts or next characters. I'm thinking this is Clive, this is maybe Bart or Furion over here, and then this is maybe Onion Knight, and then for the rest I have no idea. But I think that's going to be the 2 layers of gotcha in this game, if I'm correct. And just as you can see, this is from like different communities and stuff. Oh, someone else had the same idea I did about Square Enix sabotaging Dissidia. And more, it's kind of like conflicting. And once again, not to take away from those people who enjoy or who are interested in this game. I have no problem with it. Enjoy the game, have fun. I'm just asking as a fan of the original 2 games to please have a modern version of them with added content. Heck, because those games already had enough content. But other than that, I think there was one final thing that I wanted to talk about. It was posted to their Twitter page. It was this post by Tetsuna Nomura, who's in charge of like the Kingdom Hearts stuff, so it's kind of interesting to see him over here on Duellum. And I'll post this below too. I personally, I'm not going to read through all of it, but there was one part here where he considered Opera Omnia as like the 4th installment, and I honestly think once past this like 2011 point of Duodecim, all these other games are just like spin-off games, because none of them are the same as these first 2 games. And these first 2 games were 1v1 fighters. This arcade game was literally what NT was, Dissidia NT. It was literally a 3v3 arcade game that they were trying to do esports style stuff around, and it didn't pan out. Then Opera Omnia is a mobile game, which once again is not 1v1, or at least 1v1 in the style and the gameplay feel of the original and Duodecim. And then NT, which didn't do well at all financially or just like community wise. So I kind of take issue with the constantly ongoing series, because the ongoing series would be if we actually got a real sequel to Duodecim, which we haven't for like 13 plus years. And while they're calling Duellum like the 6th installment, I'm just like, it's the what, 3rd or 4th spin-off from the original Dissidias. It's using the mantle, but it's not really the game. But yeah, you guys can probably read this for yourself. I disagree with stuff being said here regarding Dissidia. But once again, I'm a nobody. I'm just somebody on the internet trying to just have a conversation about this stuff, and hopefully Square Enix somewhere in the void will hear me and the tons of other players who are interested in the original games getting a remaster or remake. But I do want to end off this video just by saying, like, I hope whoever is interested in this new project enjoys it. But for me, after 13 years of not getting anything that personally I wanted, like I said, like the original 2 games, I don't know how I feel. Like, as a Final Fantasy fan, I think I've been getting great with games like the Final Fantasy 7 remake and Rebirth, which have been great, and I'm looking forward to the 3rd installment of that game. And then we had even some of their their older games on the PSP get remastered. But I really think Square Enix needs to take a minute to like take a look at their colleagues in the space if they want to grow and like do well by their community and grow. Is Capcom has been doing good stuff on Resident Evil and Mega Man, even Street Fighter and their fighting games. They even have like the Legacy Fighting collections, which include like super old games. I think even Power Stone 2 or whatever is on that, but they have those collections that they're working on and they've been well received. Konami's even had the Metal Gear remake, and that one's doing good, and they even talk about doing more with their games. And Square Enix has done some remasters or remakes for the PSP games, like Crisis Core got a version on the PS4 and PS5. Tactics Ogre got a remaster. You have Final Fantasy Tactics, which recently, I think like last month, just came out with one. Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep even got something and got put into the I think it was a 2.5 remix that it got put into for like the PS4. They seem to want to do it for everything but Duodecim. And even though they've been hearing the players kind of like yell from the mountains for it for like 13 years, they seem to want players to forget what they loved about the original Dissidia games and just kind of take what they're giving us. And as you can see, they haven't done well. NT didn't do well. Opera Omnia, though it lasted a lot longer, kind of it faded too, and it wasn't like a mainstay. And I will probably just end up playing Duodecim. I mentioned I have my original copies and my original PSP, like my 1000 series or the 3000 series or versions. So I'll probably play it on one of those, bring those out to play, because I don't think Square Enix is gonna listen anytime soon, especially after 13 years. They've done tons of other stuff, just not Duodecim. I hope that somebody is listening and will eventually give us a remaster, but till then, I may just sign off from Square Enix games till the final installment of the Final Fantasy VII Remake series, because that seems to be the only thing they can do right by. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys found my thoughts and stuff, and like maybe whether you disagree or agree with me, please put that down in the comments down below. I would love to hear from you guys in the wider not only just Final Fantasy community, but just Dissidia community as a whole, everyone, Square Enix community. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day or week, and please like, comment, subscribe. It'll be very much appreciated. I will catch you guys in the next one, and have a good one. Later.